Hi gardeners, it's Mila and I'm back with some more gardening for your COVID victory garden. So it's a beautiful day out today. It's still a little chilly in the air, but the sun is shining and it's gorgeous and the birds are singing. So I've got to be out here gardening. So yesterday I talked about how to make a quick, easy, lazy bed, putting down cardboard and then throwing, whatever you have on top of that, whether it's a bag of topsoil, if you're going to plant in right away, some compost, a bunch of woody materials like wood chips or dead leaves to kind of break down and make soil over time. I want to show you what happens when you do that. So this whole front yard used to be nothing but just like a plain old lawn. Nothing special here at all, just lawn. And the soil here is really not that good. I live in a place where I have about 6 to 12 inches of soil before I hit a level of shale underneath. So not so great for garden. So my only choice here is to garden up, not down. So I've been building the soil up all for the last few years that I've been here. It's been about 4 years of gardening. And what I did is I made a plan. I decided I wanted to have these beds kind of echo the curve of the driveway, and I wanted to garden in the front because the garden in the front is actually slightly better than the garden in the back in terms of drainage. So I'm here in the front, so everyone gets to see as they drive by what I'm doing in my garden that day. And I kind of love that because it makes it really public. It makes the idea that gardening is something we should do and that we don't need more lawns. We need more gardens. We need to feed ourselves, both our bodies and our souls, by growing great food and growing beautiful plants. I do lots of vegetable gardening in my front yard and I encourage you to as well. And I also mix a lot of beautiful things in with that vegetable garden. So it doesn't really look like a veggie garden in the traditional way. It just looks like a really beautiful garden that's really productive. So 4 years ago, I put down cardboard and compost, and I've been doing that ever since, where I put down more and more material on top of this. So what used to be really hard, awful clay soil, I can literally dig into with my hand, and it's like this. When I first got to this place, I couldn't have imagined ever being able to do that. The soil was just not that good. It was really kind of awful. I was very happy to be in this house because the house has the location and the space that we need, but the land leaves a lot to be desired if you're a gardener. So my choice is to grow up. And there's a couple of things that are great about that. It's easier, like a lot easier. Double digging is hard work. Digging trenches down into your garden is hard work. Putting down compost and then putting down cardboard and then throwing compost or wood chips on top of it is fairly lightweight work, really easy, and for the most part free. So I spend very little money, like actual money, on my garden every year. I trade with friends to get a lot of new plant starts. I do spend money on seeds, but not that much. Seeds aren't that expensive, and we do have some great resources in Tompkins County where people can trade seeds at our annual seed swap, and we have a seed cabinet at the Cooperative Extension that's free for folks. This year, because of COVID, our seed cabinet is closed, but we did manage to give away something along the lines of about 3,600 packets of seeds in one weekend, even after we closed, so that people could get their gardening done. We're working on getting some more seeds too, so let's keep our fingers crossed that we can get some more for everybody. So anyway, what I'm doing here, I put in these tomato cages. They're just like these basic wire cages, and I have about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got a baker's dozen. I've got 13 of these kind of hard to see wire cages in here, and I've planted my peas at the base of those cages. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to plant my greens in between. So in between each cage is about 3 feet of space, and I've laid out some greens to plant. So between these first 2 cages, I'm going to plant some green Towers romaine lettuce. Over here, I've got some flashy troutback lettuce, and that's an heirloom variety. My next green is I've got some Salad Sensation hybrid spinach, some giant Caesar lettuce, some gorgeous, there we go, giant red mustard. Then some Bib lettuce, tot soy, and that came from the seed swap. Some oak leaf lettuce, and then a mesclun mix, and then some dazzling blue kale, a different kind of spinach. This is called Bloomsdale Longstanding. And I'm going to finish it off with some Swiss chard. Now, because my soil is so soft, what I'm literally going to do is I'm just going to go like this with my hand, make some space, and dot in seeds. That's it. That's all there is to it. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to line the edges of this with beets. Beets are a great thing to put in the ground early, so along the edge closest to my driveway, I've got some early wonder beets. And on the further edge, I'll be putting down Detroit dark red medium top beets. Now, one of the issues though, and one of the tricks about gardening, not so much a trick, but it's just a method, is that when you have gardens that are up against a grassy area, the grass likes to invade. So you can see down here, it's kind of hard to tell where the grass kind of ends and where the garden starts because it's really kind of climbing up in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a trench. Making you dizzy. So you can see over here on this side, ooh, that light's terrible. Let's try it this way. That's a little better. So what you can see I did here on this side is this is in the fall, I basically just dug a little trench. I went in with my spade and I chopped straight down, and then I went back about 4 inches and I chopped straight down, and I dug up that stuff and just threw it up into the garden. And that makes a trench, and what that trench does is it keeps the grass on this side from being able to spread roots and go over to this side, or at least it really minimizes it. So that's one way to continue building your soil up, because I'm taking out this soil and throwing it right on top. But it also keeps it really tidy, because it means that that line between your grassy pathway area and your garden bed will be a nice kind of easy divided line and easier to maintain. And with that, I'm going to put this phone down and I'm going to get to planting. See you soon.